It's Jacqueline from Vibrational Energy Solutions, here to be with you to read Chapter 6 of Extraordinary You, this amazing book by Jacqueline Ortiz, and we are on Chapter 6. Now, Jacqueline and I had a very strong connection here on this earth, and one of very parallel paths in life. And in her passing, she still comes to me and it seems like she comes at the perfect time. And there was a message that she brought through, and it was about connecting with those that you truly love, that matter to you in your life, and letting them know, because you never know how suddenly and fleeting life can be taken away. And that's what happened with Jacqueline. She was out for a hike, got a skinned knee, and it got infected and quickly turned to sepsis. And it was a very fast process, and she is no longer with us. But she wants us all to embrace our extraordinary lives, and this is her legacy that she left for us. And as I read Chapter 6, and she came to me a few days ago and said, "It's time, start reading again." And honoring her in this process, as well as taking a deeper look at what is it that I'm healing in my heart, that you're healing in your heart, and knowing that we are all in this together. So reach out to the people that you love and care about in your life. And for some reason, this chapter, I believe, has a lot of very strong wisdom in it, because it accidentally got deleted the first time I read this a couple days ago. And I've been trying to recover the file, and it is not findable, not recoverable. And so that just gives me more insight that I've got to come back and read it again just for you. And so here we are, Chapter 6. And Chapter 6 is feelings, nothing but feelings. Feelings affect every cell of our bodies and the very essence of the fabric of our being on every level, emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Why you feel the way you do. Feelings are the physical or mental sensations you experience. If you feel sad, no one is making you feel sad. If you feel depressed, no one is making you feel depressed. If you feel frustration, resentment, boredom, anger, and so forth, no one is making you feel anything. When you experience a situation, it evokes a feeling, which you then run through your own particular filters. Filters are created out of your past experiences and the meanings you assign to them. These filters influence your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and your reactions. The emotions you experience are based on your perceptions, which originate from your thoughts. They are the direct result of the thoughts that you harbor in your mind. Feelings affect your moods and your behavior. People's thoughts and beliefs affect how they feel. For example, to one person, a particular job can feel stressful, but to another person, the same job may feel stimulating and challenging. Words, thoughts, and the meanings you assign to them play an integral part in how you feel. In response to the death of a loved one, some may feel fear and regret, others anger and rage, and still others loneliness and grief. The level of pain and sorrow may not be as intense for the person that believes in reincarnation as someone who thinks death is the end of all. The meanings you have assigned to your experiences have the most profound influence on the nature and intensity of your feelings. External circumstances may trigger some of your thoughts, but they aren't responsible for how you choose to feel. Your feelings come from within you. There is a direct relationship between what you think and what you feel. A feeling is a mental state that you produce in reaction to a stimulus. Emotions are private, uniquely yours. No one can climb into your head and feel what you feel. Emotions are sensations derived from your thoughts and the meanings you have associated with them based on your past experiences and beliefs. Once I started to deal with my authentic emotions, I gained mastery over them. This is not to say that I don't experience negative emotions, it's just that I recognize them for what they are. I no longer avoid them or wallow in them. I now have a healthier, more balanced relationship with my full range of emotions. This has given me the emotional maturity to handle, to enhance, and enrich all of the areas of my life and the people in my life. By reconnecting with my emotions, I have reawakened my authentic self and wants. You may not always be aware of what you are feeling at a particular moment, but you are almost always feeling something. To be alive is to feel. Even people who say they don't feel anything experience the feeling of numbness, if nothing else. Your feelings are also your inner wisdom being revealed in many ways, as urges, as impulses, as promptings, as bodily sensations, or as intuition. In the next section, you will find a method for connecting with your feelings. Are you emotionally precautionary or reactionary? Precautionary means that you are cautious, mindful, and measured in your thoughts, actions, and reactions rather than being reactionary, which means that you are on automatic pilot, impulsively reacting to stimuli. The goal is to lean toward being precautionary. When you are in a precautionary state, you can separate yourself from the stimulus and the heat of the moment to reflect and analyze what you are truly feeling and what is making you feel the way that you are. When you are in a reactionary mode, you automatically assume that external stimuli and circumstances are making you feel the way that you do. The first thing you get to do is to identify what you are truly feeling, then put some distance between yourself and the feeling. When you become aware of your feelings, you step out of your personal story and create space between what you are feeling and your authentic self. You become the observer, observing your own feelings. It is similar to watching a character in a movie. When you take the role of the observer instead of the main character in the story, you are able to step back and analyze the story in a more impartial, detached, and resourceful manner, rather than being consumed by feelings of helplessness, pain, victimization, and hopelessness. It provides you the opportunity to observe your story from a different, more empowered perspective. It is the act of catching your inner self experiencing a feeling. It is being present in the moment. You would be surprised how many sensations and feelings humans fail to detect out of avoidance, ignorance, confusion, busyness, misdiagnosis, denials, and distractions. By becoming an unbiased observer, you are no longer reactionary. Rather, you are in a precautionary mode. The most reflective and productive manner to heal what you are feeling is to let the AAAAs have it. Have an AAAA's time out. To enrich and transform your life, learn to implement the AAAAs. A is for awareness. Awareness is simply recognizing the sensations you are feeling. Awareness has a healing effect. When you catch yourself experiencing a feeling, pause, take deep breaths, and contemplate what your feelings are trying to communicate. You will experience a sense of calmness as your breathing becomes deeper and more even-paced. Your muscles relax, and your mind blocks out the noise and settles down. As an example, your significant other hasn't taken out the garbage. Again. Often you take out the garbage yourself or ask him once again to do it to avoid an argument. or your immediate reaction could be to get furious and make sure that he knows just how furious you are. The best course of action is to take a breather and go within to become aware of what you are truly feeling. So A was for awareness. Second A is for acknowledgement. Acknowledge your feelings. Recognize and accept what you are truly feeling without trying to change or fix it. This is especially true if what you are feeling is something you think you shouldn't be feeling. Acknowledgement isn't about being consumed by the feelings. Rather, you are simply noticing it's there, admitting its presence, and allowing it to be. In the example of the garbage not being taken out, you may be feeling anger or resentment. Whatever it is, acknowledge what you are truly feeling and that you have the right to feel what you are feeling. A, so that was our second A, was acknowledgement. Our third A is for accompany. Witness and listen to your feelings. You already know that it is a lot easier to offer advice to a friend than it is to know what you should do and to follow your own advice. This is why you often feel better when you share your story with a loving and trusted friend. In the accompaniment stage, you become that loving and compassionate friend for your inner self. Since you are able to detach yourself from being emotionally consumed and dragged down by what you are feeling, you are able to move beyond your feelings. This empowers you, allowing your inner self to feel and listen to the true messages your feelings are trying to communicate to you. In the example about the garbage, you can observe your feelings and listen to the message as it is trying to tell you. Perhaps the message is to, instead of jumping to the conclusion that your significant other doesn't care about your feelings or appreciate all the work you do around the house, it just means that he doesn't realize how important this is to you and that you could find a better way to communicate it. And our fourth A is for appreciate. Appreciate the feelings that arose from your hubby not taking out the garbage. After all, it gave you an opportunity to get in touch with your authentic emotions rather than to fall into reactionary mode and scream or bite your tongue. When you appreciate your emotions, it signals to your subconscious that you are open to learning from your experiences, and it will provide more opportunities for personal growth in the future. When you choose to feel the authentic core feeling, acknowledging and accepting it, accompanying it, and appreciating it, you release your attachment to the feeling. Once you stop identifying with the feelings by continually thinking that you are what you are feeling, you will be able to honor your feelings without allowing your feelings to overwhelm you. I'm going to read that one more time. Once you stop identifying with the feelings by continually thinking that you are what you are feeling, you will be able to honor your feelings without allowing your feelings to overwhelm you. The power of doing your AAAAs is that it frees you from stagnant and toxic emotions. Once you've recognized and dealt with these limiting emotions, you are free to make a constructive plan of action to tackle the situation. Fortify your life by doing your AAAAs. Extraordinary size number 17. The AAAAs are a tool that I created to bring awareness to unresolved feelings, because only by shining light on them can you heal these unconscious feelings. Practice taking an AAAA's time out. Practice awareness. Take deep breaths, relax the tension in your muscles, and focus on the sensations. Let go of external and internal noise. Just sit with the sensations and become aware of what you are feeling, and feel deeply. So take a moment, take some deep breaths, consciously relax your shoulders, your back, your neck. Relax all the tension in your muscles and focus on the sensations. Let go of the external and internal noise and just sit with the sensations and become aware of what you are feeling. And now feel deeply. Acknowledge what you are feeling. Notice what you are feeling. Allow the feelings to just be. Don't judge, label, or condemn your feelings. Acknowledge what you are feeling. Our third A is accompany. Accompany your feelings. Become an observer of what you are feeling. Step outside of your story to gain an outside and impartial perspective. What are you really feeling? What are you really angry at? Ask yourself, what else can this feeling mean? Is it just about my significant other not helping around the house? Or is it something more? Truly and actively listen to what your feelings are trying to communicate. Perhaps you aren't really angry because you aren't getting help with the chores. Perhaps it is something deeper. Could it be that what you are really feeling is anger that your husband is constantly working late or hanging out with his buddies? Perhaps it is because you feel alone and lonely. Perhaps it is because you miss the intimacy of the relationship. Perhaps you are feeling jealousy or fear over losing him to another woman. Delve into what your true feelings are. Don't just jump to conclusions, finding the most obvious reasons. Sometimes the most obvious is the least obvious. In order to heal, you have to be truly aware, acknowledge, and accompany your feelings. And last but not least, appreciate your true feelings. Be compassionate towards your feelings. Be grateful for the messages they are trying to give you. Understanding and analyzing your feelings is fuzzier and slower going than the process of catching yourself thinking. So you need to be patient with your feelings and delve into the deeper levels of what you are feeling, rather than just grabbing the most obvious answer. The more you do your AAAAs and become reacquainted with your inner self, the easier it will be to identify what you are truly feeling. Keep checking in. Ask yourself, how am I feeling? What does this really mean? What else could this mean? Remember, our bodies are infinitely intelligent. Our bodies speak to us all the time, not only through the 5 senses, but also through a catch in the throat, a knot in the stomach, a tension headache, a stress-related lower backache, throbbing in the heart, trembling, an intuitive feeling, a sense of uneasiness, a soft whisper, an inner knowing, among others. In their infinite wisdom, your sensations are attempting to communicate what you are feeling. Unfortunately, often the feelings are dismissed, misinterpreted, or misdiagnosed. Remember, acknowledging doesn't mean that you agree or wallow in it. And listening doesn't mean that it's always right and you have to follow it. Doing your AAAAs is a process. It will get easier, but it isn't a one-time deal. Feelings are always springing up, and it is up to you to get messy, get real, and get at the root of your feelings. The greatest gift that you can give yourself is to listen and honor what your inner self is trying to communicate. Whatever it is vital to your authentic self and peace of mind. To honor it, appreciate it, and give it a voice. Stuck on a feeling. You can't expect to prevent negative feelings altogether, and you can't expect positive feelings all of the time. The law of emotional choice directs us to acknowledge our feelings, but also to refuse to get stuck in the negative ones. That's a quote by Greg Anderson. Sometimes you get stuck on a particular feeling or feelings. You play and replay the same old feeling. All of your past experiences have created millions of feelings that are now trapped in your body and stored energy patterns. These energy packets vibrate at different frequencies. Obviously, the lower, denser vibrations are the negative energy patterns and attract more of these lower energy vibrations. You need to release them. Release, change your thoughts, surrender, and stop the need to control things to be the way that you want. In addition to the AAAAs, I have provided below several extraordinary sizes to assist you in releasing unresourceful feelings. Extraordinary size 18. Close your eyes and give yourself permission to fully feel. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Describe the sensation of what you are feeling. Then ask, where do I feel it in my body? Put your hand where you are experiencing the feeling and ask yourself, what message are you trying to convey to me? Or, what's the lesson? Listen intently to the message and then ask, what does this feeling need? What is the feeling asking for? It could be as simple as to be acknowledged and reassured, or it could be to take some type of action. At the very least, you have given the feeling a voice. Now ask yourself, am I willing to release this feeling? If the answer is no, go back and tap into the feeling to ask if there are more messages for you. After you've gotten all of the messages, ask again if you are willing to release the feeling. Repeat the process as often as you feel is necessary. You should be willing to release the feeling, or at least most of it. But if for whatever reason the feeling isn't willing to be released, then accept the feeling as it is. Tell yourself that you love and accept yourself despite still having some feelings on this matter. If you are willing to release the feeling, take deep breaths and get yourself into a relaxed state. Put your hand where the feeling is and tap into it. So breathe in and out. Relax. Get yourself into a relaxed state. Put your hand wherever the feeling is on your body. Where are you feeling it? Then visualize it traveling out of your body along with all of the feelings that are associated with it. I personally choose to visualize the feeling as a stagnant ball of energy that I guide down and out of my body, through my feet. I visualize this energy going down into the earth, where Mother Earth recycles the energy. I then visualize a white healing light shooting up from the earth and through my body and disappearing into the universe. Extraordinary size 19. When you are experiencing intense, unresourceful feelings, Refuse to let them overcome you by identifying with them. Do the opposite. Objectify them. You objectify your feelings by observing and describing your feelings as separate from you, rather than identifying them as who you are. For example, if you notice that you are feeling anger, rather than thinking or saying, "I'm angry," reframe it. Remember that it's only a part of you that has chosen to experience a feeling of anger. When you observe yourself in a state of anger or whatever it is that you're feeling, then describe the feeling. For example, it feels heavy, it feels hot. In this way, you are objectifying the feeling rather than identifying with it. By witnessing it as an observer, this is a much more productive and healing way to experience and express your feelings. Now you are able to quantify and experience it as just a part of yourself feeling anger, rather than thinking that your whole being is angry. You can express the anger in a more constructive manner and find out the message and what it needs in order to heal. Once you are able to constructively experience a feeling and discover the message, you will be able to heal it. Extraordinary size 20. Periodically through the day, take short awareness breaks to connect with your feelings. Take deep breaths, release, and focus your intention on what you are feeling at that moment. Keep it in the present, keep it real, and keep it nurturing. In order to heal, you need to feel. In order to heal, you have to be willing to release the feeling you have been resisting and harboring. The more you focus on needing to change something, the more it will elude you. When you accept what you cannot change, you automatically stop trying to force things to work out the way that you need them to. You may think that focusing on what you want or forcing things to change will motivate you to take action. The opposite is true. For instance, the more you hate being overweight, the more you will focus on it. Your mind becomes fixated on the image of you being fat. Rather than motivating you to take action, this is more likely to make you focus more on being fat. Diet blunders and binging frenzies, all of which makes you feel fatter and more frustrated. What you should do instead is to allow yourself to experience the feelings of inadequacy, failure, frustration, anger, or whatever feelings it is for you. Then release these feelings. This frees your mind and soul to focus on the actual feelings you have been trying to mask with food. Once you allow yourself to feel the underlying cause of your feelings, it opens you up to self-acceptance in the here and now. Your mind will stop holding on to what you don't want, and you'll be free to bravely and boldly take action. This process frees you to stop resisting who you are now, and frees you up to create and manifest what you want. Focus on what you truly want and commit to manifesting it. In this instant, try holding an image of yourself being slim, trim, happy, and confident. Emotional warfare. Human beings experience a slew of emotions. For example, fear, anger, excitement, desperation, greed, hate, ecstasy, jealousy, happiness, anxiety, joy, depression, pride, grief, relief, rage, love, and compassion. The problem arises when you experience contradicting emotions. When part of you wants to do or feel one thing, but another part of you wants to do or feel another, all of these feelings can be traced back to the root of all emotions. The root of all emotions is pain and pleasure. Pain and pleasure are the two most major categories of emotions. Everything you do for a reason, and the reason is either to avoid the emotion of pain or to feel more pleasure. All of your feelings are derived from these two central emotions. Emotions affect your decisions, your behavior, your health, your relationships, your career, and so on. Some of the more trivial feelings and emotions play less significant roles, while the intense feelings and emotions play more pivotal roles. Your experiences have molded your emotional makeup, which in turn offers the framework of what you personally have associated with pain and pleasure. What is one person's pain may be another's pleasure. For instance, to one person, smoking, gambling, drugs, and promiscuous sex might be the height of all thrills and pleasure. Another person may have associated the same things with a lack of control and painful addiction. What you assign pain and pleasure to is uniquely personalized based on your past experiences and beliefs. You can see how a person who associates fitness and health with immense amounts of pleasure will be motivated to treat his body as a temple and nurture it with workouts, eating healthy foods, taking supplements, and staying away from cigarettes or drugs. A person who associates eating rich, sugary foods with immense pleasure will be more likely to succumb to temptation and head for fast food chains or bakeries to indulge. Both people may desire healthy and fit bodies, but each person's strongest associations for a particular behavior or state will determine the particular action that he or she takes. Life is a series of paradoxes. When you have two conflicting emotional associations, which one do you think wins out? Your need to avoid pain is a stronger determining factor than your wish to gain pleasure. This is why you are often baffled why you don't take action to accomplish something that you know that you should be doing, something that you think you will give you lots of pleasure. You find yourself procrastinating, sabotaging your own efforts. Your subconscious has associated more pain with accomplishing the task than the pleasure it thinks it will receive from doing it. This is not a conscious calculation. Rather, it is an unconscious and instinctive reaction. Usually, short-term pain and challenges must be undergone in order to avoid long-term pain and gain long-term pleasure. Stop thinking and reacting with short-sightedness. Understand that in order to accomplish what you want, there will likely be a transitional period in which you will experience short-term discomfort or pain. But also understand that this transitional period is vital for you in order to break through all the negative, limiting behavior that has paralyzed you from pursuing everything that your heart longs to accomplish. Use these steps to manipulate pain and pleasure to work for you instead of against you. Step 1, decide what you truly want. Step 2, investigate what has kept you from already having it. In other words, what is the pain you have associated with taking action? Make a list of all the benefits, payoffs you have gotten for not taking action. Step 4, get motivated. List all of the external and internal pain you have experienced by not taking action. Opportunities wasted or lost are painful, but most painful is the internal pain of not measuring up, or not being a person of excellence and integrity, of not living to your full potential. Associate immense amounts of pain with not following through. Step 5, get inspired. This time, list the enormous amount of pleasure that you will experience by following through. Feel and visualize it. Expand it in your mind and make the images more vibrant, more colorful, and more intense. List an enormous amount of pleasure to changing your associations. You can anchor this powerful state of feeling. Anchoring is an NLP technique to consciously and intentionally create an association between a stimulus, an anchor, and a desired response. When you are near the peak of an empowering state, you choose a distinctive touch to a certain part of your body to link that state with an anchor. When you want to regain that empowering state, you fire off your anchor by touching your body in the same spot, in the same manner, and you will create the same feeling. Step 6. If at any time you feel yourself reverting to your old habitual associations, immediately stop and fire off your anchor. Stop negatively thinking. Revisit step number 5 and reinforce the pleasurable emotions that you have associated with the action or behavior. Step 7. Design empowering alternatives to compel you to take the most empowering actions. Make a list of things you can do immediately to change your state. For example, for someone who is trying to overcome food addiction, here are some empowering things that could be at the top of your list. Call a friend or mentor. Go for a walk. Listen to music, or even better, dance to a spunky, uplifting beat. Go to the gym. Practice yoga. Practice deep breathing and visualization techniques. Recite or write affirmations. Write in your journal. Immerse yourself in a hobby. Step 8. Set up a reward schedule. Every step of the way, congratulate yourself for your accomplishment. You should feel a sense of accomplishment every time you don't succumb to the need to avoid pain. Reward yourself for all of your efforts and for your courage to take a leap of faith on your road to your extraordinary life. Aside from your need to avoid pain, another reason why you might not follow through is because your values are in conflict. Your hierarchy of values will determine what you avoid and what you go for. For instance, you may value making money, but if family, relationships, love, creativity, and excitement rank higher in the list of things you value, you may not have the motivation to devote the time and effort it takes to make it to the top of the corporate ladder. You may associate massive pain with sacrificing the time and energy needed to achieve a certain outcome. You may feel that time and energy is of more value. It will be extremely enlightening and productive to list your hierarchy of values. I'm willing to bet that you aren't living an extraordinary life. I'm willing to bet that if you aren't living an extraordinary life, it is because your values are in conflict. Get your values in order and your life will fall into order. Extraordinary size 21. Make yourself a values list. In order of experience, list and rank your values. Start with values that you revere most. Are they in conflict with your other values and desires? What is most important to you? Then ask yourself, what is most important to me now? Who am I committed to becoming? What am I truly committed to accomplishing? Then make a conscious decision to reprioritize your values to support and accomplish what you want now. Don't forget to delete disempowering or limiting values that no longer serve you and hamper your progress. Your choices, your behavior, your experiences, and ultimately the quality of your life are impacted and defined by what things you associate with pain and pleasure. The key to an extraordinary life is to identify these associations and use them as motivating stimuli, rather than have them use and paralyze you. Pain and pleasure impacts every facet of your life, but you have the power to discover what motivates you. This knowledge holds the keys to your destiny. Pain and pleasure will no longer be the enemy. Rather, they will become tools that you use to propel you into action. Taking action is what will empower you with the opportunity, courage, and motivation to lead an extraordinary life. Your defense mechanisms. In order to heal, you need to remove the emotional blocks that you have donned for protection like a suit of armor. These unresolved issues are what have caused you to accumulate emotional debt. Emotional debts are old, negative issues that you have deflected through the use of defense mechanisms. All of the effort that you use to conceal, deny, suppress, and repress an unresolved or unexpressed feeling uses up a humongous amount of your precious energy. Unresolved issues hamper your judgment, distort your memories, oversensitize your feelings, overpersonalize situations, make you overreact, and demoralize you. Your character is formed by the defense mechanisms that you adopted to deal with negativity and stress. This has become your personal style. It's how you interpret events and express your feelings. Your character flaws are the inappropriate ways that you apply and rely on your defense mechanisms to help you avoid expressing your emotions. Your goal is to identify the defense mechanisms that distort your perception of reality and to transform them into an outlet of self-expression. The same defenses that numb your pain also prevent your emotional pain from healing. Most people use a unique combination of avoidance, justification, suppression, rationalization, excuses, denial, and pretense as protective shields to hide behind. Your childhood experiences and character development reflect the defense mechanisms that you rely on predominantly. Defense mechanisms can backfire, becoming self-fulfilling prophecies. I'm going to read that one more time. Your childhood experiences and character development reflect the defense mechanisms that you rely on predominantly. Defense mechanisms can backfire, becoming self-fulfilling prophecies. Take the example of a jealous or insecure person who is controlling and manipulating. His biggest fear is that the other person might cheat or leave him. But by his constant suspicions, accusations, temper tantrums, demands, controlling, and possessiveness, he may accomplish the opposite of what he wants, which is to push the other person away. While defense mechanisms are an inherent part of your makeup, a sort of default under pressure, you can learn to manage your defenses more productively. You can accomplish this by honestly dealing with your emotions in the present moment. Extraordinary size 22. The following is a list of common tactics used to avoid pain. Procrastination, explanations, lack of concentration, escapism, lying, which includes little white lies, compulsive organization, hiding feelings, acting tough, claiming confusion or not knowing, exaggerating, compulsive schedules or to-do lists, playing mind games, blocking out information, compare yourself to others, compulsive multitasking, obsession with being perfect, excuses, being paralyzed by fear or failure, being paralyzed by fear of failure, people-pleasing, avoid risk-taking, drastic life changes, showing off, distancing yourself from reality, rebellion, avoiding criticism, avoiding responsibility, being overcritical, a Superman or Superwoman complex, wearing masks, wishful thinking, pretense of perfection, claiming ignorance, being power hungry, over-rationalization, inflexible, over-analysis, intellectualization of emotions, living in dreamland, denial of reality and blaming others, being overly controlling and manipulative, expecting to be rescued, projection, rather than seeing your own shortcomings, you see them in others. Which ones do you engage in? Can you relate to any of these? I know I sure can, especially in the past, and still, these are still some things that I become more and more aware of and bring them more and more to the top of that space of consciousness so I can start releasing and letting go, just like you. So even me that's been on this journey for over 20 years, and however long you've been on this journey, you know, we're always a work in progress. So which ones do you engage in? Think about that for just a moment. Which of these tactics do you use to avoid pain? What is it that sets off your particular defense mechanisms? What are the trigger points? What can you learn from this? List the steps you are going to take to overcome your defense mechanisms and deal with your emotions. For example, if you engage in blaming others, you can make a conscious effort to become aware of it as it's happening. You can list keywords that you use that will help you to recognize when you are being reactive rather than proactive. When you hear yourself saying things like, "It's all your fault," "Why can't you ever do anything right?" "You are always screwing up," or "How many times have I told you not to do it that way?" You can stop and do something about it. Feel into that for a moment. What are some of the common phrases that you know that you use when you get into these trigger points in your life? Stop. Ask yourself truthfully if what you are saying reflects reality, or are you applying defense mechanisms in order to avoid blaming yourself? If you're honest, you will probably acknowledge that you are blaming others as a way to avoid criticism, a sense of failure, or some other sort of emotional pain. Even if the other person is truly at fault, you can learn to be mature and compassionate enough to treat others as you would like to be treated and not place blame, and instead look for solutions. Familiarize yourself with your default mechanisms. Learn what makes you tick and what makes you recoil. Understand and accept that all the negative emotions that you feel are gifts are part of your emotional monitoring service that is alerting you to take action. It is alerting you that there is something that needs your attention, that whatever you are doing is not getting the desired results. You either have to change your behavior, your thought pattern, your approach, your perception, or your belief. Identifying the shields that you hide behind is the first step in excavating the emotions that you are avoiding. I just had a vision of burn, burn, burn. This is the emotional alert system. So when you get triggered, how can you know the phrases, the feelings, and become aware so that you can actually address the core root? Emotional mastery comes from understanding and freeing your inner self from your defense mechanisms. The best way to do so is in real time. Identify the pain, mourn and feel the pain, and then release it to end the suffering. Don't stay stuck in past hurts. Don't waste your energy worrying about an uncertain future for which there are no answers. Stay present in the moment. Live in the moment. When you feel hurt, it is because you have made a choice to take something personally. When someone says or does something, whether with the intention to hurt you or not, let it roll off of your back. If you take the remark or action personally, it is because deep down inside of you, whether you want to admit it or not, you believe that it is true or that there is some truth to it, or you aren't sure of who you are. Otherwise, hurtful words wouldn't have the power to hurt you. After all, they're just words. Understand that those words are not about you, even when they are aimed at you. They are really about the misconceptions, insecurity, distorted or malicious perceptions, personal feelings or beliefs that someone else is projecting onto you. Every time that you excavate and address specifically what it was that caused you pain, you heal a little bit more. Rather than applying a bandage or generically saying, I feel pain, be more specific and say, it hurts that my husband cheated on me. It saddens me that my child is rebelling against me. It scares me that I lost my job. Or it scares me that I don't have enough money. Whatever it is for you, really feel it. Healing is about validating your feelings. Don't shortchange them, negate them, or compare them to other people's feelings. Don't worry about others' responses to you. In order to heal, just concentrate on applying these techniques. Acknowledge your pain. Identify the specific root of the pain. Feel it in the present moment. Learn valuable lessons from it. Stay present in the moment. Address it in the present moment. Tactfully, but without fear of offending, rocking the boat, or hurting others, express what you are feeling. Don't hold back. Express it in the present moment. Release it and move on. Some people are able to express one emotion but not another. This is selective emotional expression. They may feel or convince themselves that they are in touch with their feelings, but this isn't always the case. Unfortunately, selecting the emotion you choose to feel doesn't make up for the ones that you choose not to feel. In order to heal, you must develop the emotional maturity to feel and heal all of your emotions, not just the most convenient or pleasant ones. Since emotion is energy, the process of releasing energy connects you to the universal flow of energy. Unexpressed emotion blocks your flow of energy. It stunts your emotional, mental, and spiritual growth. The key to increasing your power is to feel and then release your negative emotions. When you are free to feel, you are also emotionally and spiritually open to all that the universe has to offer. This interconnectedness creates the perfect atmospheric conditions for excavating your true inner self. Extraordinary size 23. Change the channel. When you catch yourself repeatedly reliving the same old movie in your head, grab the remote control and flip the channel. You have the power to mentally change the picture in your mind at any time. It's up to you. Do you want to continue to wallow in self-pity and self-inflicted misery? Or do you want to take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and ultimately your destiny? You can't be responsible for every thought that enters your mind, but you have to take responsibility for the ones that you harbor. Change your focus, change your perspective, take charge of your destiny. But take caution not to exchange one negative, disempowering channel for another. Make sure that the new channel offers healthy food for thought that empowers and uplifts your mind, body, spirit, and heart. Outside noise. On a daily basis, you get bombarded with external noise and chatter that wreaks havoc on your authentic self. This noise disturbs your sense of inner peace and balance. Outside noise is the feelings, desires, demands, opinions, judgments, and fears of others, telling or screaming at you to conform to their standards. Outside noise is toxic when ingested. It clouds your mind and consumes and confuses your authentic self. Whether intentional or not, your family, significant other, professors, co-workers, neighbors, and peers, and the media, politicians, other figures, cultural rules, and religious figures all contribute to outside noise. Outside noise is very convincing. In time, you mistakenly identify or align with the outside noise and believe it to be your own reasoning, your own identity. You start to think and feel that it is really the way that you feel. The more that you second guess yourself with questions like, why can't I make a decision? What's wrong with me? Or why can't I do anything right? The more that you start to think that this is your own voice of truth. Outside noise attacks your authentic self by making you feel confused, disoriented, and dissatisfied. Stop listening to outside voices and start listening to your inner self. Turn the channel. Turn off the media altogether and tune into yourself. This is sound advice for everyone, but especially if you haven't developed a strong sense of self. Extraordinary size 24. Eliminate toxic people from your life. Make a list of these people and make a commitment to eliminate as much contact with them as possible. You might not be in a position to eliminate everyone in your environment, for example, coworkers or family members, but you can decide the amount of influence they will have on your life. When you must interact with toxic people, guard yourself against internalizing their negativity and poison. When complaints, negativity, or criticism spew out of their mouths, instead of internalizing it, state to yourself, or if appropriate, state out loud, cancel, cancel. If appropriate, gently but firmly interrupt them and ask them to use more supportive or positive language. Replace the toxic people in your life with positive, supportive, and uplifting people. Listen to your authentic inner self, which is always nourishing and empowering. Your focus has to be on what is best for you. What will make your soul stand up and sing, not what others think is best for you, or other people's expectations of you. This is your time. It is all about you, more specifically, your inner you. And do not for one moment allow yourself to allow others to make you think or feel that you are being selfish. I've heard that one before. The most unselfish thing you can do for yourself, your loved ones, and everyone around you is to excavate your inner you, to heal. You can't give what you don't have, and until you do this work, you won't be able to share the very best of yourself. Think of that. For your children, for your grandchildren. What legacy do you want to leave in this world? Is it one of love? Then do your inner work, because that is the greatest stand for love that we can be in our world. De-stressing. Most people think that stress is something that happens to them, something outside of themselves. It's not. We create our own stress. We create it with our thoughts, our feelings, our beliefs, and the meaning that we assign to our experiences and situations. For example, one single person sees dating as stressful and longs to get married. Another single person may find the opposite to be true, seeing dating as exciting and truly enjoying the dating scene, but viewing marriage and commitment as stressful and confining. If you think stress is external, you will feel out of control and you will feel like a victim of circumstances. You will feel powerless rather than try to understand the root of what you think is stressing you out. You will try to deal with it, manage it, manipulate it, avoid it, or accept whatever you think is causing you stress. This precipitates more stress. You may think that the solution is to change your circumstances. So every time that you perceive stress coming from somewhere out there, your solution is to make a change. But this is a short-term fix, leading you to an endless pursuit of inner peace outside of yourself. Also, it's not always feasible to change your circumstances. Another move, a change of jobs, a new romance, a new marriage, divorce. It will only result in an endless cycle of running away or changing things rather than understanding and making peace with the underlying cause of your stress. It will never end. There will always be something else you need to change that is causing you stress. Think of stress as an ally, as your internal warning system, alerting you that you are headed toward a psychological meltdown. Most people erroneously think that repeatedly rehashing the negative incident or asking the opinions of others will make them feel better, sort of getting it off their chests. The opposite is often the case. Every time you recall or retell the event, it makes you feel like you are reliving it. This keeps you spiritually and emotionally invested in the situation rather than letting go. You perpetuate an iron grip on the negative situation. What this really does is to validate and reaffirm that stress has a hold on you and it's out of your control. The more you think about it or try to change it, condemn it, or blame it, the worse it will get. Once you take responsibility for the thoughts that you harbor, you can diminish and control your stress. Make a point of noticing potentially stressful thinking. You can become aware of it and release it, and the stress will be cut off. But if you focus on the thought, it will mushroom into a toxic attack, namely stress. Stress can cause negative side effects, such as high blood pressure, ulcers, rashes, nail biting, anxiety, a pounding heart, tension, headaches, lower back aches, and on and on. Once you accept that your thoughts and beliefs are the causes of your stressful feelings, not only will you feel more in control, you will also be empowered to manage or change your links to stress so that you can feel more peaceful and relaxed. Remember, the more you focus on what you don't want, the more energy you give to it, expanding it and creating more of it. I'm going to read that sentence one more time because we want to be aware where our energy is going. Remember, the more you focus on what you don't want, the more energy you give to it to expand and create it. So have you been giving your energy to anyone or any certain situation in your life that you definitely don't want to create more of or expand in your life or in this world? Then we, me included, need to double check ourselves. And even though I know this, like I said, I've been doing energy work for more than 20 years. Where attention goes, energy flows has been one of my mantras for 20 years. But I did this today. So it's not about burying our head in the sand. We know what's going on, but if we continue to obsess on something or give more energy and life to it, it animates it even more. So I'm speaking politically right now. Let's use time as an example. Okay, we're back to the book. Sorry, little side note there. Okay, so before we get back into the book, I just want to invite you. We have a book club. It's the Extraordinary You Book Club on Facebook. And we go in depth into these chapters and decipher the meaning it has for us personally. We go through the extraordinary sizes. So if you'd like to be a part of that, I invite you to please join us. The link will be in the description, and you are more than welcome to join us there and see if we can break through some of these old patterns together, because it's time for change in my life, in your life. If you're here, I'm sure there's a reason you are wanting to create an extraordinary life for yourself. There must be something that you want to change in your life. And this is a way to integrate it. It's a catalyst to help you to transform your life. And it's free of charge. So we get to meet online, we get to connect with other people that also want to uplift their lives to the better. So please consider joining us. All right, back to the book. Let's use time as an example. If you believe that there isn't enough time in a day to get everything done, you are right. There won't be. If your focus is not having enough time, I'll bet that you waste a lot of time worrying about not having enough time. How counterproductive is that? When you feel rushed or pressured by the lack of time, your efficiency and productivity goes way down. You may think that all the time running around and multitasking is getting more accomplished, but it isn't. You may be crossing off lots of things on your to-do list, but it doesn't mean that you are more efficient, more effective, or personally satisfied with the quality of the results. You may be doing more, but not necessarily better, and certainly not in a more meaningful way. You feel so overwhelmed by all that you think you have to do that you aren't concentrating on the task at hand. How could you? You are too consumed with worry about getting it all done and moving on to the next task. And all of this leads to distraction. When you are present in the moment, you can manipulate time. Haven't you ever been so involved in something that time just seemed to fly by? This is when you are at your peak, what they called being in the zone. This is what you should strive for. When you focus on the task at hand, you are not only more efficient and effective, but you will get more done right the first time and can use this feeling of triumph to move on to the next task with a positive and energized mindset. Extraordinary size 25. Interactive meditation is a great way to de-stress. In traditional meditation, your intention is to breathe, relax, and draw in positive energy. In interactive meditation, your intention is to release negative energy. You direct negative energy into nature, where it can be absorbed as just energy and transformed. The process is simple. Immediately after practicing traditional meditation, Open your eyes and point your hands in the direction of fire, water, or plants. Set your intention to release and send the negativity out of your body and into nature. Don't worry, you won't hurt or infect nature because nature purifies any negative energy. Once you become proficient at distressing, when you are pressed for time, you can bypass meditation and go straight to the de-stressing process. Another way to look at de-stressing is decharging. Just as you would recharge a battery, you can recharge yours by decharging the negative energy and recharging with positive energy. Direct the negative energy flow out of your body through your fingertips. De-stressing helps you to remove negative energy blocks and recharge your batteries with positive energetic flow anytime that you feel drained or negative. So we have one more extraordinary size after this, but I just want you to take a moment and feel into that exercise. Feel into how powerful it would be to put a candle in front of you, knowing that we harbor negativity, maybe adverse feelings, emotions that are stressing us out, causing different reactions, and allowing yourself to tune into your body, tune into what you're feeling, and do this exercise. We're right now as I'm posting this, we are in a new moon cycle. A new moon cycle is a perfect time to manifest positive awareness and energies and manifestations in your life. And use the power of this new moon because it's one of the most powerful creative times that we have. So traditionally, new moons are about creative new manifestations of what you want in your life. So focus into what is it that you really do want? What do you want in your life? Who do you want to become? And get a felt sense of that. And then feel into what is in the way of this. What feelings, emotions, energies, beliefs, patterns, conclusions, judgments, ideas about our government and where we're at right now. Just feel into any of that. Feel into anything from the past. It could be something from your childhood that you're ready to release. Maybe there's emotions that are coming up for you of what you want to see in the world, and you see the blockages, you see the negative energies that are at play. And what I want you to do is to know that anything that you see out in the world is something that you harbor in here. So whether a projection that you have towards somebody else, you may see them as selfish or negative or victim or a narcissist or a sociopath or whatever it might be. But as you start to feel into that, ask yourself, what inside of me do I need to clear up? What false beliefs did someone else project onto me, or what have I made myself believe because of some time when I was maybe even a small child, someone made me believe this about myself. And so those negative emotions are buried in the soma, the body. And I'm a Soma IQ trained breathwork practitioner for helping you to release trauma. And so as we breathe in through the nose, all the way down through your diaphragm. Feel your diaphragm expanding. And as you exhale, breathe out through your mouth. And just breathe in all the way down through the diaphragm. Hold it for a few seconds. And then exhale. Let it all go. And then inhale again through the nose. And feel into your body. Feel into anything that's been triggering you, that's been upsetting for you. And ask yourself, why am I feeling this? And it could be because you've been bullied before in your life. It could be that someone else made you feel that you were not important, or maybe disconnected from you, isolated, um, caused division between you and someone that you love, maybe told lies about you. I just want you to feel into that. Whatever is at the cause or the root of it, there's some type of reflection there that is being projected back to you. And our world is a holographic universe. So as I say this, just play with me for a moment, because the reflection of what's in here is also out there. And so as we clean up what's here, we clean up the vibration that we're sending out. So we're actually uplifting. So if there's something that you're feeling, it could be just this intense anger. It could be totally repressed anger and rage that you're feeling. And just so you know, that affects your liver. It affects your digestive system. And your life is too precious to allow any outside energy, any outside stress that you're taking in your body. You're taking it in. It's a choice. Right now you have a choice to let it go. You have a choice to diffuse it. So put that candle in front of you, or a plant, and allow yourself to send that negative feeling, the feelings of the disconnection, the division, the separation, the isolation, the fear, the grief, the heartbreak, whatever the feelings are that you're feeling, allow them to move through you. Breathe through them and feel through them, because we can't just disconnect from them and let them go, because that's bypassing, that's spiritually bypassing, and it doesn't help you, it doesn't help our world. And we really want to get to the underlying truths of this. So feel into the feeling. As you feel into the feeling, ask where you're feeling it in your body, and bring it up and bring it through your body, and bring it out through your body and out through your fingertips into that candle. And send that energy to the candle, or send that energy to the plants or the earth, so that it can transform that energy. Allow it to burn away, allow it to metamorphosize, because it can be transformed. It can be transformed. It can be transformed quite easily. We make it so much more difficult than it needs to be. And that's one thing that Jacqueline Ortiz is bringing through in her channelings and her connection to me. She's bringing through that it doesn't have to be as hard as we've been making it. So where have you been holding on to it in your body? How has that been manifesting? I know for me, I'm years into my menopause, and my hormones were dysregulated. I was holding a lot of tension in my back and shoulders and neck, and I'm still working on this. I'm not perfection by any point or by any means, but perfection in the way of, we are the image and likeness of God. We are a vessel of God, a vessel of love. And so we do have the capacity to heal everything within us. And so as I'm reading these words again of Jacqueline's, I'm bringing these energies through so that I can transform what is ready to transform in me. Because I don't want to carry it anymore. I don't want to carry the pain anymore. I don't want to harbor any resentment, any guilt. It's time to forgive others, and it's time to forgive ourselves. That doesn't need to look like you have to tell the other person anything. There's a prayer called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian prayer, and it simply is, you say in your mind's eye. So meditate, get clear, get still. And as I say meditate and get still, that monkey mind still wants to chatter. That identity of the ego wants to keep that chatter alive in your brain. And so know that that's very normal. There's nothing wrong with you. And just think, whatever the thoughts that are coming through, just go ahead and think them and let them pass through. But get still. Find yourself getting to that place of peace within you. And access what it is that you want to create for your life. And use this moment to then use the flame, use the earth, use nature, the plants, to infuse positive life force energy back into what it is that you want to create in your life. Because you can re-regulate your emotions, you can re-regulate your hormones. That is not as difficult as we make it seem either. Okay? And all this that we're carrying on to, all that exhaustion, there's a lot going on in our world. And if you're highly empathic, you may be tuning into a lot of that. So what the invitation is, what do you get to release? What is not? What are you taking on that's not yours? Return to sender with consciousness attached. Return to sender with consciousness attached. And infuse your energy in what you want to create. Do you want to create loving connection, relationships, love? What is it that you want in your life? Abundance, flow, knowing that you are always taken care of. And trust that all's happening is exactly as it's meant to, and that all is being transformed for your highest and best good. And as you release any of the negativity, any of the vibrations of lack, of scarcity, of pain, of fear, of anger, of grief, of heartbreak or helplessness or victimhood, whatever it is, you open up that flow, you open up that channel to receive and move and allow it to flow through you so you can manifest more and more and more in your life. So as I'm sharing with you, feel into what is it you want to create. Feel it with every fiber of your being. Feel into it with every emotion that you want to feel when you know this is complete. Like, feel the manifestation of what you truly want in your life. And feel the joy that that will bring you. Feel into your heart. And bring that positive energy in. That identity that you know is possible. It's the ego that wants to keep you stuck. We're releasing all of those old identities, because every moment is a moment for change. Every moment is a moment for transformation. We no longer have to be stuck in the old identity. That's something that's back in the 3D field. So we're moving and we're progressing into a higher dimensional state. A state of highly creative expansiveness. One of transformation, of light, of love. And you can choose it. So stay with me here in the feeling. What is it that you want to create for your life? Who do you want to be? What is it you want to share with a loved one, with a partner, with your husband, with your wife, with your children, with your grandchildren, with your coworkers, with your neighbors, with your friends, with your colleagues? What is it that you want to truly create in your life? Feel into that energy. Feel into that light and that love and the presence and the expansiveness as it is complete. Feel it with every cell of your body. Every cell of your body is listening right now. I am a worthy, thriving, unstoppable leader. Who are you? Who are you? I am a loving, kind, juicy woman. I am. What is it that you are? Make a declaration. Make a declaration for you and your life and the love that you get to be for yourself, with yourself, so that everyone that's important to you in your life, you leave a legacy of love, and it is your divine destiny to know and remember your true you. And if you'd like any further support with this, know that I occasionally offer free community breathwork sessions, Soma IQ, to help you to tune into your body, to feel into what you're holding on to release, so you can receive what it is that is in your energetic awareness of what you want to truly create. You have the capacity to create whatever you want, whatever you choose. So we're all in this together. So let's thrive together. Our last extraordinary size number 26, another golden nugget from Jacqueline Ortiz. This book is gold. You know that. If you've been following along with me, if you've been doing these extraordinary sizes, Jacqueline left her legacy to help you transform your life, to help you become extraordinarily you. So our last extraordinary size, number 26, for today in chapter 6 is: you create stress when you focus your thoughts on things that you have deemed to be negative or stressful. Instead of exaggerating a situation, do the opposite. Make a game of the negative situation. Take the negative or stressful thought, freeze it, and reframe it. You can use various techniques, such as picturing the situation as being smaller, less significant, farther away, dimmer, black and white, or comical. Make a game of it and then release the image. You can hook the picture to balloons and have it float out into outer space. How appropriate. And that is the completion of chapter 6. Thank you so much for joining me today. This has been such a beautiful blessing for me to be able to reread this chapter and re-record it for you, and to share that you are extraordinary. Jacqueline Ortiz left this guide for you to rediscover that. You were born extraordinary. And unfortunately, through time, experience, situations, beliefs, and the gift of epigenetics, where we're taking on from our environment those beliefs, judgments, conclusions, they have helped us to become who we are in this moment, from the time that we were in our mother's womb. So we get to choose who we wish to be. We get to choose how we parent our children. We get to choose how we show up in life, how we show up with power, passion, and purpose. And I am here to share with you on your journey. So if there's any way I can support you, I am here in this realm, Jacqueline with us from the other side. And with so much love from both of us, from our hearts to yours, we wish you a most amazing day. Bye for now. See you later. And again, click the link below in the description to join the book club, and I'll see you inside of the book club and in our Zoom, so we can be working through these chapters together. All right, bye for now. Oh, one other thing. I have an upcoming 30-day challenge, a 30-day journey. I don't want to call it a challenge because life is enough of a challenge. I want to make it an experience, a journey, and it's called the Raw, Real, Naked Self-Discovery Journey. So if you'd like to join me for that, I will also put the link for that in the comments. And we begin on Valentine's Day. And what a better day to show up and love yourself even more. And with short exercises every day for 30 days, that is an experience that you get to share in. The first 7 days are free of charge. So join me for that. It will be totally a gift from my heart to yours for Valentine's Day to let you know how special you are and help you know how special you are, because you are extraordinary. I'm Jacqueline with Vibrational Energy Solutions, hoping you are making it a great day. Sending so much love from my heart to yours. Bye for now. Jacqueline Bambenek. This is Jacqueline Ortiz.